Not many communications majors graduate college and jump right into purchasing a business, let alone an auto repair franchise. But Ashley Butler of Ice Cold Air Discount Auto Repair in Tampa, Florida did just that. Though she started out as a franchisee, she is now the Beyonce of the company, running the world as a franchisor. But what's even more impressive is that her days as an entrepreneur began even before graduation. In this episode of Vehicle Care Rockstars, we'll learn how the support of Ashley's community propelled her to stardom and how she's now giving back.
If you would trust this, and if you would try this on, and if you would do this for 24 months straight, blinders on, no excuses, you will get what you want. Because you're not going to stop until you get there. And I'm not going to stop until you get there, because that is my promise.
Take us back to how you got started in the industry.
I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life, and I was in the dry cleaning business while studying at the University of South Florida. I met the founder of Ice Cold Air standing in line at a Panera Bread. He was telling some jokes, I was laughing, and he was a franchisor, so of course he was always recruiting. And after just a couple conversations, he said, you might want to take a look at this. And that's how the ball got rolling.
The franchise model is interesting, it's unique there. Just what kind of drew you to it, and what really led you to investing in that?
I would say I come at life kind of with a little bit of a reckless abandon. Like I just attack anything, I go full force after it. I wanted to be either an attorney or a business person. And then shortly into it, I realized case study made me want to fall asleep. So entrepreneurship was what it was going to be. Right. I was in partnership in the dry cleaning business, and I got a chance. I was the COO, a very young COO, still in undergrad. And I learned operations and people management and equipment management in the dry cleaning business. And it felt like it would be right in line with any other business. And so when the opportunity came to buy an Ice Cold Air franchise, I just took it. I really didn't put much thought into it. I was 22 years old. I didn't have a lot of things to fear.
You mentioned 22 years old, you became a franchisee in the automotive repair industry, which was brand new to you as well, just something you were diving into. What about before that? What were the big influences in your life that they gave you the confidence and really the gusto to really go in there and say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to succeed?
As a young person, I've always been able to not be like teacher's pet, but I ask genuine questions, and so I've always had mentors of teachers who have led and direct and, said, this one should probably be in advance, or this one should probably be in honors, and they just kept putting me in places. You know what, you're really good at this. You should be on the math league team. You know what, you should probably be on the chess team. And so I've had people to encourage me and push me and guide me and direct me my entire life. I feel like I kind of have a guardian angel around me that continues to put people in my life. When I was I think I was a freshman at the University of South Florida, I responded to an ad in the USF Oracle, and it was, we're looking for young entrepreneurs to make $500 a week around their schedule. And that was one of the best meetings of my life, because I met Wendy Poling, who introduced me to Mark Poling, and they've become my lifelong mentors, still friends to this day, like family. I've adopted myself to be an honorary Poling.
That job, offering $500 a week, was for a Texas-based telecom company. Ashley developed a team of students at the University of South Florida, and even parents joined in. They built a team in Texas as well, and then Ashley had the opportunity to live in Germany for a semester, building a European team. Once she met the Polings, they offered her a position as Chief Operating Officer for their family-run dry cleaner business, Mango Cleaners, in Stephens, Florida. This job afforded Ashley the ability to own her first home at the age of 20. But she received far more from Mark and Wendy than just a job.
A lot of the ways that I present and sell, my value has come from Mark and Wendy, and just learning that you want to be Nordstrom's, you want to be Nordy. You don't want to be Walmart per se. You know, they both have customers.
Right, no, I
but
got
the
you.
level of service that I want to bring is the Nordstrom level, the Publix in Florida. We have a grocery store called Publix, and it's a first class experience. It's kind of like the Chick-fil-A.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are things that I learned from Mark, and that helped me be successful when I met Alan Ayers with Ice Cold Air, because it was just foundational for me, you know, and I would have not have been in the financial position to buy a franchise at 22 years old if Mark had not been mentoring me from 19 to then to buy a house, own a house, you know, understand what equity was.
For many, living the American dream means buying and owning a house. And for others, it means starting a business. For Ashley, it was both of those things. But it's no secret that living the American dream has gotten more and more expensive over the years. Ashley admits that managing personal finances was one of her greatest hurdles to overcome. Is there a moment that you can think of that you'd like to share about, this was a challenge and this is how I faced it?
I would say relearning how I responded and managed money and finances. You will learn a lot from what you know you shouldn't do, and you learn a lot from mistakes. And so I learned a lot of what not to do, like the AMSCOT pay advances, those type of things. You know, there was this place in Tampa that you could go and give them the title of your car and borrow money against it because you got in a tight and a bind. And learning how to break that cycle was imperative. I saw that show up early in my career. As just needing money, and you know, I'd taken all the equity out of that little house I had. You know, I spent all the money. I sold my shares back to the Poling family, and that's how I got my initial $22,000. And then I had some equity, and I went to the Bank of America at the time, and they gave me $42,000. So that was the money I had to get started. But in business, you know, you run out of money quick. That's the blood and the lifeline. And so then I ended up borrowing money the wrong ways, and then I've wasted so much good profit just paying interest. And I would say that was a big lesson that was tough. And I knew that I had to get better financially if I was gonna make it. Now here we are 18 years later. That to say that financial challenges don't come, but the things that I teach, the reason I teach them so intensively is because they were the things that punished me the most. You know, I didn't understand the personal finance statement and that I needed to have more assets so that a traditional bank would lend to me. And these are a lot of the reasons in which I teach the way I teach inside of the business for the soft skills, because you can be a great earner.
Knowing firsthand how difficult it is to get an education and start a business, Ashley was determined to help other underprivileged youth gain access to these opportunities. As a result, she helped found the Black Leadership Network at the University of South Florida. Tell me about the work with the Black Leadership Network.
So the USF Foundation has some affinity programs that are in place, and a lot were created as a mandate from the president, Judy Genshaf. And they found out that Black students were taking longer to graduate with a 4-year degree than any other. And so they did a lot of research, and they had a company, Helios Education. They did some studies, and they ran across some metrics, and there was an issue related to accessibility through money, mentorship, training, and the value of an education. And so we know there was some first generation opportunity, women going to school, Latino scholars coming to school, and this was one of the last programs that was created about 6 years ago now, where myself, Edna Rain, Andrick Frazier, Jerry Bell, and Dr. Luz Randolph came all together with Tracy Muir and said, we're gonna do something about it. So we started asking people who were prominent in the business community if they would support the effort. Created programming as well as scholarships, endowments, which are scholarships that go on to perpetuity, and it helps sustainability of the idea that we want to have everyone have the opportunity to have a higher education.
Ashley is not afraid to ask for help. As a communications major who found herself in the auto repair industry, she didn't have the traditional tech background. A challenge, to be sure. However, she did have a built-in support system.
The beautiful thing about a franchise model is there are mentors built in. There are people who are already inside the company, have worked out the kinks, and you're purchasing a system. And so I wasn't alone. Ice Cold Air is a very unique franchise to where we had weekly communication and training. So we would all come together, all the franchisees and managers, and we would sit down and we would role play and problem solve and discuss things. So anything that was a major issue in the beginning got worked through. I can tell you some personal struggles was being young and being a woman. Those were things that I had to learn how to master, how not to let them shake my learning curve, and just understand that's just a part of being in business and being young. People are always gonna make sure that you know, make sure that you're gonna take care of them. And once I built the confidence to know that I could take care of them and hold my technicians responsible, that was one of them, learning how to hold the technicians responsible. Everything kind of fell in line, and I just continue to ask for help. I still, to this day, I ask for help. And that really helped, asking other franchisees who were successful to come over to my shop and teach me what an induction service was, you know, and what's the function of it, and learning how to rewire in schematics and those types of things. So I think it would just be being curious and learning, just maintaining to ask for help me through any of those struggles. Being a woman is a challenge.
For the women in our audience here, or even the men, the people like me that maybe just don't understand and need to understand, what advice would you give the industry on that, or how to make it more approachable, or even just inviting for women to take on these roles?
What I would say is if you're an adult woman in this world, you pretty much already know that you're gonna have to bring it. You're gonna have to be a little bit sharper. You're not really gonna be able to phone it in. We're not in we're not in the boys club, and so we have to prove what we can do. And I think it counts for lawyers and doctors. I don't think that it's automatically assumed that women can do everything men can do until we prove it. And so what I would say is that show up every day, do exactly what you need to do. Whatever you're not great at, learn a little bit, ask for help, join a 20 group, or join whatever mastermind group there is for your industry, and continue to get better. The beautiful thing is that we have a lot of allies. We have a lot of men and leaders who understand our power. They understand our curiosity. They understand our natural nature to double, triple check. You know, there's this joke that says a woman has a plan, and she has a backup plan, and she has a backup plan for the backup plan. And if that backup plan doesn't work, just know she has a backup plan for the backup plan that had a backup plan. Right. And that just comes from, I think, leading a household, having kids, being responsible for others. I think it's just maybe in our nature. And so I would just say, you guys just continue to be curious about what we can bring to the market and support us wherever you can. And if you see us struggling with something, help us with the subject, help us lift it up. And challenge, we're not saying we don't want to be challenged. We definitely want to be challenged. We don't want to be excessively challenged for no reason. And so just be mindful. That would be the thing. And I always say, think of the person that may be different than you as if they were a family member, and that might help, with grace.
You mentioned going from a franchisee to franchisor, so now you're the mentor, right? Tell me about that kind of transition and now what you hope to do with people and kind of bring them up to kind of where you started and bring them to where you are now.
Yeah, so this is a good question because this franchisor trend just happened last year, January 23rd, 2023. Okay. And so for 17 years, we were franchisees, and we began to, about a little over a decade ago, become the #1 producing franchisee in the organization, implementing new things, bringing new things to the franchisors, nationwide warranty, all the things that, we knew were important to the customer base. Yep. And when it was time for the franchisors to retire and they decided to exit, we were the natural best choice. We're doing the work, we're leading, we're outperforming, and we have aspirations to grow and develop the brand further. To dig into the second part of that question is, As a mentor and a leader in my community, I feel that I have a duty and an obligation and responsibility, a joyful responsibility, not a pressure-filled one, to show people that they can reach their highest potential, that they can become their highest self. And sometimes you just need permission to succeed. And so Alan Ayers, who's the founder of Ice Cold Air, once told me, he said, I'm gonna give you something that probably nobody else has, and I give you permission to succeed. And most people think they need permission for most things. And so when we allow people the permission to succeed, we also grant them the permission to fail, and fail fast, and not be ashamed of failure. And so as a mentor, I invite our franchisees, our employees, our teammates, our directors to bring issues to us. You know, we adopted a system where we solve issues every single week as a leadership team, and issues are no big deal. The negative connotation of the word issues has not been beneficial. An issue can be an opportunity, you know, and so we solve issues. People bring their cars to us, they have an issue, we solve them. We're engineers, we're technicians, we're mechanics. And so teaching people their power and letting them know that mistakes are part of becoming great. You know, baseball players, when they're successful, they have tons of strikeouts. You know, it's a mathematical game of just getting up at bat and just keep on showing up. And what you're not good at, get in the gym and work on.
What's your favorite thing you do at work?
My favorite thing is leadership development.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, is helping someone discover the ancillary benefits of becoming a good earner and learning how to build up their personal assets and stop, you know, maybe they have aspirations to not be a renter anymore and become a homeowner, and show them how to put their sweat equity into their actual life equity. That part, watching people develop, of course, in the bays. I want you to get better as a technician. I want you to learn how to flag hours and use bay management, all the things that we need inside the business. But when I can show you how to translate those numbers to your family and then your kids, that is the most rewarding part for me. What we decided to do was add like visitors to come in, like someone from the bank to talk about budgeting, someone to talk about insurance and life insurance, and then we offer certain insurances that help you learn, oh, these are things that I should have. Someone to come in and talk about what it's like to get a mortgage and what is it like to be a homeowner.
That would be very beneficial.
Right? And to understand that when we're in school, we get a report card and it says you did great in math, you did great in PE, you did great in this. Well, in life, that kind of stops if you don't continue on through school. So what is our adult report card? Well, if you go to the bank and ask them for something, it becomes a personal finance statement. And what you want to understand in response to that is, you know, there's a section for liabilities, there's a section for income, there's a section for assets. And for people to learn that and understand that is important. And not a lot of people make that a part of their agenda when they're leading employees. But I think it's, like I said, a part of my duty and responsibility as a leader and a new age type leader to understand that we need guidance. You know, we are the next level of education for people who don't continue on and they don't get mentors. And everybody has the right to say, no, thank you. You know, I don't want to go to the budget. It's not mandatory, but I can tell you what, if I sit down with you every quarter and I ask you about your goals and your life aspirations and you tell me, you know, how you want this and you want that, and I help you build a game plan, when I put on a class or I have somebody come speak, you're likely going to come and eat a piece of pizza and listen to the guy talk about retirement.
Do you get good turnout for these? Are people interested?
Yes.
Do you have to kind of coax them into it?
No, actually, it's a refreshing feeling for them. The feedback that we've gotten so far is thank you so much. They've never worked for a place that actually cared about them and what they wanted out of life. Hearing what people want will help you guide and direct them. And I don't think it's our job to get somebody and cage them into what's beneficial for us. As business owners, we know what we want. We want to produce a product that's consistent, that customers want, and that they tell their friends and family about, that creates retention and builds and builds and builds. We know what we want. It's a simple game plan. But if I don't know what you want, Jason, how can I get what I want? And Think and Grow Rich I think I used to read this book every single year at one point in my life. And in there, Napoleon Hill says, if you will build value for other people, you never have to worry about money a day again in your life. And that's what I found. If I can help you get to your goal, I don't have to worry about my goal. My goal is built in.
Do you have a set of values or focus when you bring this into the business and your personal life?
Actually, yes. That you mentioned it, our leadership team, we came up with our 5 core values. This is what we found are the 5 things that we do distinctively different that holds us to high esteem with our customer base, and it actually helps us become accountable to all of our teammates. Okay. They're very simple. The first one is our word is our bond. You know, what we say we mean, what we mean we say, and if we say something that doesn't get done, we're gonna clean it up right away. Relationships are everything. You know that. Your word is your bond, your name, your credibility, that's all you have. And so if someone lends their credibility to you, understand that relationships are everything. And with that, we take the responsibility of taking care of people. With everything we do, we make sure that we're being positive. That's at the center of it all. And inside of our core value challenge chip, it's a B+, which means be positive. Always do your best. Always do your best, no matter what you do. From day to day, your best might be different. Maybe you're struggling with a certain type of ticket that's being dispatched to you, and at night you need to go to YouTube University, or you need to log on to CTI and take a couple courses, virtual courses, but just make sure you're always doing your best. And as human beings, when you say, how does it translate to real life? You know, some days you're gonna wake up and the best you can do is get up, brush your teeth, and make your bed. You know, you might be dealing with something, and so always do your best. Some days it's gonna be A+, some days it might be a D-, but just always do your best, whatever you can do. And I actually took that from Miguel Ruiz's The 4 Agreements. You know, just always do your best. I am a person that believes in possibility. I believe that that is one of the things that keeps us thirsting and learning for more as human beings. We're only here for a short period of time. If you get 100 years, you're very fortunate. You're very fortunate. And so being limitless and trying everything you can to leave this world in a better place than which we found it is a part of some of our agenda here. So part of some of our purpose. Very purpose-driven person. Legacy is very important to me.
How is it important, and what do you want your legacy to be?
When it's all said and done, I want there to be a big party, and I want people to come together, and I want them to share stories of how my efforts changed or helped them create flow where they had ebbs, or helped them open up Pandora's box and see that they were capable and possible no more than they could ever dream. I want my trainees to one day understand that their development, their family being successful was more important than my success could ever mean to me. I want to see them get what they want out of life, because some people have never, ever, ever been given that permission, and they've never been shown that kind of love. My legacy is to pour into people.
If you were to look at the future, look at the next 2 years, 3 years, what's the future of Ice Cold Air? What do you want to see?
So our team, our leadership team, we sit down and we do goal planning. We do quarterly check-ins, and we use a process called EOS where we set rocks and we keep track of everything. So we have a very detailed 10-year vision, which is to go from the 16 locations we have now to 40 locations by April 2033. We have a 3-year picture that says these are the things we need to do to get there. We have our core focus. We do everything based on our core values. You mentioned one of them about relationships. Relationships are everything. And those are the marching steps that we're doing, but we're heading to 40 locations in 10 years. And we're planning to do that by helping people learn how to lead people and direct people and attracting good talent and training. We're gonna become a place where people can come in with the desire to be whatever you want to be in this industry, technician, a manager, advisor, and take you through the workforce progression of that, train and develop you internally. So it's going to be a lot of pouring into people, a lot of sifting through people, a lot of finding, okay, you want to do this, but you may not want to do that in this type of work.
One of the true qualities of a vehicle care rock star is reaching out to others and helping them get into a better position. Ashley is all about bettering her community, whether that's through helping her franchisees realize their business dreams, giving back through charity, or helping students understand the potential of a future in the independent automotive aftermarket. Be sure to check out all of the Vehicle Care Rockstar episodes in this month's focus on Ashley and how she's impacting the industry and driving change. Okay, Ashley, we are going to play a little game called B-Sides. We want to get to know you better. So I'm going to give you a series of choices. You tell us which one you prefer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Some general questions here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Rays?
Buccaneers.
Miami Dolphins or Jacksonville Jaguars?
Dolphins.
LeBron James or Magic Johnson?
Woo! This is too hard. I'm sitting in Akron. Oh man, let me tell you, I have to go with King James.
Poker or blackjack?
Poker.
Trip to the beach or Vegas?
Beach.
Sunbathing or swimming?
Sunbathing.
You want to go to the movies or a stand-up comedy act?
Comedy act.
Spanglish or Beverly Hills Cop?
Oh, two of my favorites. Oh, okay. Depends on the mood.
Okay, we'll take it. Listen to the radio or YouTube training?
Definitely YouTube training.
Okay, well, you are a vehicle care rock star, so we have to talk about music. R&B or hip hop?
R&B.
Jay-Z or Usher?
Jay-Z.
Favorite Jay-Z song?
Ooh, right now, Otis.
Right now, very good. We'll take it back to the 90s. TLC or Destiny's Child?
TLC.
Janet Jackson's 1998 Velvet Rope Tour or Beyonce's 2023 Renaissance Tour?
Renaissance.
Crazy in Love or Run the World?
Ooh, Run the World.
What was your first concert?
Janet, oh no, my first concert, first grade, TLC, Mary J. Blige, Bobby Brown, USF Sundome. I was in the first grade.
That's a really good first concert, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an excellent answer. What was the last concert you went to?
Oh, Beyonce.
What was the best concert you've been to?
Beyonce's.
Top 5 artists.
Top 5. Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Usher Raymond. I really, really love Nipsey Hussle, Kendrick Lamar.
Ashley, thanks for doing this. You are a rock star.
Thank you. Rock on.